Happy New Year. Good morning. Rise and shine. Give God the glory. Hope everybody started off this year great this morning. And I wanted to share something with you because even though it's already January the 1st, it is not too late to take a minute and to reflect on 2024 and think ahead of 2025. This is something that we've done with our family, with our kids. For years, we actually have a shoebox that is, we call it a time capsule, which we literally have saved all of the years that we've done previously. And so we can, I'll go back and look at it. When the kids were younger, it was different because they were not as mature. But now as they're getting older, they're 15 and 17, it gives them a chance to stop and pause and think about what the Lord has done in their life last year and what he might have ahead of them for next year. And so it's just a really fun way to do it kind of together as a family. Yesterday we went out to lunch because my kids are getting older and they had plans last night. Yes, it was actually the first time that we have celebrated New Year's, just the two of us, in quite a long time. But we had a good time, right? And so we went out to lunch, and we have a couple forms that I'll show you here in a minute. And we just take a minute and we fill them out, and then we sit around and talk about it. And sometimes we get the old ones out from previous years, and what was this year like? Is it what you expected? Did you make the goals that you wanted to make? And it's not anything like super high pressure, but it is, it's a good way to just stop and remember. And I make a family calendar most years. And so I actually have already gone through this process a little bit because I go through all of last year's pictures and put them into a calendar, which, by the way, is another great way to remember the year, is to make a photo calendar. And don't do what I do sometimes, which is get super obsessed and put pictures in every little spot possible. But just to go through and to remember remember the highlights from the year and all the cool things that have happened. And so it's a really fun way to just stop and remember, because I feel like we need to remember. It's so important to just stop and think about all the things that we've done this year. And we have so many opportunities where we live, and so it's good to just stop and just be like, wow, even though this year wasn't super exciting for us, we still got to go to Gatlinburg. We went camping. We got to go to Dollywood, like just things that we got to do as a family. And so I love that. And I think it's a really important part of living in this world where we live, where we have so much. It's so important to stay grateful in the midst of the struggles of the world that we live in today. So anyways, Happy New Year. I'm going to show you my little forms here. So this year we have two different forms. We did my year in review, which I just added the date to. It wasn't dated. I downloaded it somewhere for free, probably last year. It's got two sides. The front side is it's definitely aimed at kids. The front side is more like, how tall are you? What's your favorite toy? Which my kids don't play with toys anymore, but we still used it. And on the back is more thoughtful questions like, what are you proud of this year? What will you remember most about this year? Things like that. And then this one actually came from my church a few years ago. And again, I just changed the dates on it. And it's like 2 words to describe your year, 10 people I'm grateful for, 1 hard lesson that I learned, 9 things that made me smile, 20 things I'm looking forward to, 2 things I want to get better at, and 10 ways I can help others. So just a really fun way to reflect and to look ahead and see what might be in your future. All right. Personally, for me, this past year was different. There's some really, really good things and some really hard things, but I'm trying to stay grateful. I feel like this year the Lord has just really been putting in my heart just Philippians 4:6, which says, be anxious for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. Why? So that the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will be in your heart and your minds. So it's about peace. It's not necessarily about getting what we want, but about having the peace of the Lord with us. And I feel like the more I take my request to the Lord with thanksgiving. You can't leave that part out. We have so much to be grateful for, even in the midst of our troubles. And I feel like the Lord uses that. Even in the Psalms, the laments in the Psalms, it talks about, when David would cry out to the Lord and he would stop and think about the things he was grateful for. And then in the end, he would say, I cannot wait to praise you for what you're going to do, because I know you're going to take care of this situation. And so that's something that the Lord has been laying on my heart, not just for the new year, really, but for a good part of the fall as well. But I'm taking that into the new year with me, that seeking his peace, first of all, seek his peace, because that's what he wants to give us. It doesn't mean that we get everything we want, unfortunately. But when we have his peace, then we can sit in his love and his grace and his mercy and just enjoy him for who he is. So as you take a minute to stop and reflect at 2024, the good and the bad and the ugly, and the things to be joyful about and the things to be thankful about, I pray that as you look forward to 2025, that the Lord would place on your heart what he wants you to know about him and his character and what he has for you for this coming year. Happy New Year. God bless.